2006 Ford Mustang with the charging system and battery light on. Came in. Someone had installed an alternator about a few months ago. It sits under there. I replaced it due to being a bad part. I replaced it with 3 different alternators, 2 from Motorcraft and 1 from Pep Boys. The 2 that I installed from Ford were a piece of crap. They did not work. So I installed where I work at a GM dealership. So it came in here. So after the second one, I sent it out to Ford, and then Ford said it needs an alternator. So we brought it back here. So we went aftermarket this time and got a Pep Boys in here, and it started charging right away. But I guess the procedure to checking this, the way you can check these is, I have here the wiring schematic. What you want to do first is obviously get your voltmeter or test light hook up to your negative side, and ensure that you have do a test on the battery to see what you're reading. You get a measurement off the actual stud of the alternator, because I believe this has a fusible link. The wire that charges the battery has a fusible link in line. So if that burns, if you measure on the battery, you might not get a good reading. So it might not be a bad alternator, it might be a fusible link. Anyways, make sure you test that and it's good. Make sure you do a ground check. This here is the schematic for it. This is the wire that goes to the battery from the alternator, the big wire. This is the fusible link I was telling you about. If this is blown and you check it at the battery, you might not get a good reading, because it might be working. So get a reading from here and from ground. Hook up your voltmeter. And if you're still with the car on, if you're still measuring under around 12 volts, 11 volts, maybe even 10, then you're gonna have to continue some further diag. Now you have orange with light blue wire that's fused. It's a fuse 43. It's a 10 amp, and that guy's in here. And if you open this up, you can see the 43. It's a 10 amp, and this is like somewhere right here. I'm not gonna take it off because you can do that at your own. And then if you check that, I would check it here, like unplug it from the housing, and check that you have voltage. You should have battery voltage because it's straight fuse to the battery voltage. Second, you have 2 communication wires, and those 2. The easiest way that I can check is through here. It comes in through this connector, and you can check both of them, the power and the 2 communication wires from it that lead into the computer. And if you have to dig further into the computer, it's going to be the third one on the bottom. Unplug the third one on the bottom, and it's the top row. So you're gonna find these 2 wires, the communication wires. You're gonna find them in the PCM bottom connector on the top row. And looking at the diagram, it says it's terminal 5 and terminal 13. I did a continuity test from here to here, and it was okay. And I also checked the ground to see it was shorted, and it wasn't shorted. So I did 2 continuity tests from this wire to this wire to this wire. Make sure they were all okay, and none of them were grounding to ground or anything like that. Ensure my power ground is here. Ensure this was okay, so that only leaves my alternator to be bad again. So after 3 units, it was hard to decide what to do. But we went ahead and used an aftermarket part, installed it, and now I have full charging system. The way to get to the alternator is very easy. You take the air duct, 8mm here, you pull it off, swing it to the side, unclip the connector here, and just put it over here. And you have this 2 8mm bolts and 2 10mm nuts on the bottom, easy to get to. Unscrew those on both of them, and then this housing just comes off, and I just sat it here. Then you have full access to the alternator, which sits in there, as you can see it. And I use the tensioner there to break the belt. It's a 1/2-inch drive, and you gotta go down on it. You get the belt loose, and then you have 2 13s. Let me see if I can get you right there in the middle of the screen. two 13s that hold it on. Break those two, and then this black bracket, you don't have to take all the bolts off. Just get the try to get a good picture here for you. Just get those 10. There's a 10 and an 8. Get the 10s loose, and you should be able to break that alternator out. Like, I'll come out this way and disconnect them and unplug them and replace them. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to get it in. It's pretty simple. Simple tools, you can get to it. And it sits in the back. Again, this came in for a no start, or I'm sorry, a no charge check charging system. Install a Motorcraft alternator. It did not charge, so I got a warranty alternator again. I got a new one just in case. So that's 2, and it did not work. So honestly, I didn't do all this test on that time. So I just sent it to Ford out, then figured it out, and then they called back saying that it was a bad alternator, but we got it from them. So we just brought the car back here, and I further continued the diagnostics, and it needs so we went aftermarketing, and we got a Pep Boys. I think it's a Pep Boys alternator. Put it in, hook everything back up, started the vehicle, and I'm getting about 14 and a half, 14.6 volts right now. So if you run into something like this, it's kind of what to check real quick. And that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. Here's this diagram again if you need a picture of it.